Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video where I recommend some things for you guys to watch during this self-isolation quarantining period, because now that we have so much time on our hands, everyone's been binge watching lots of shows and movies, so I decided to give some recommendations. I was inspired by Karsten Runquist to do this video, but I'm going to do more than just movies. First, let's go to TV shows. First TV shows I would recommend are the Schurverse. I'm not sure if this is an official term or if I just made it up, but it's basically shows that Mike Schur, comedy legend, either wrote for or like co-created or created. So these include The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and The Good Place. And these are all amazing TV shows, and that's the reason why I put them first, because everyone knows to binge watch these shows. So The Office is a mockumentary on a workplace. It's a very iconic TV show. If you haven't watched The Office, you should go watch it. And Parks and Rec is another sort of mockumentary style. It takes place in like a government office and follows the people in charge of parks and recreation. And then Brooklyn Nine-Nine is just sort of like a workplace comedy about cops, but it's not really in the mockumentary style like Parks and Rec. And The Good Place is a show about the afterlife, and it's very philosophical, but it's still funny. If you love comedies, you should go watch any of these shows. Each episode's about 20 to 30 minutes, so it's really easy to binge watch. Next we have Younger has been one of my like most rewatched shows recently, and it's super underrated. Younger is a show that follows this woman Liza, who is a newly divorced 40-year-old, and she moves to New York City and tries to find a job in publishing, but no one wants to accept her because she's 40. You know, ageism these days. And so she decides to pretend to be 26. This show is so good. They consider it a dramedy. It's very dramatic, but there's some comedy in it. Kind of like if trashy soap operas were good. There's a lot of drama, there's a love triangle and all that stuff, but you still connect with these characters and it's a good time. There's about 6 seasons, and each season has 12 episodes, and an episode is like 20 to 30 minutes each, so it's really easy to binge watch. Every single episode is very captivating, and you should really go check it out. And it also stars Sutton Foster and Hilary Duff. They're legends in their field. So the next show that you should watch. So back when I was 12, which is probably not an appropriate age for me to watch the show, I was obsessed with House MD. I considered becoming a doctor because of that show. So the show follows Dr. Gregory House, and he works in the Department of Diagnostics and sort of just follows his daily life as he diagnoses these patients, and you learn about all these really weird diseases. So it's sort of like a mystery show, but instead of like figuring out who did the crime, it's figuring out what disease it is, and it's actually pretty educational, even though it's not all the time accurate. It's more accurate than a lot of other medical shows. So there's 8 seasons and each episode's about 40 minutes, so it's a bit longer, but every single episode is very captivating. And what I like about the show is the writing and the acting. It's all phenomenal. Next show that you should watch is I was like one of the biggest Once Upon a Time stans back in like 2016, 2017. This show has so many flaws, but I still love it no matter what. The show starts off being about Henry, who's adopted by the mayor of this town called Storybrooke, and he's going to try and find his birth mother. And we find out that all the characters in Storybrooke are actually fairy tale characters that have been frozen in time in the modern world. And what's very interesting is it takes these like beloved characters and sort of twists and changes their characters to make them more relatable and more realistic. Since there's 7 seasons, and then after season 1, each season kind of is a half season. So like the first half of the season adds these new characters, and the second half of the season adds these new characters. So you're constantly like changing and meeting new characters, which can sometimes be a hassle if you're trying to like actually pay attention. But if not, you know, it's a great time, and the acting is great, and they have some amazing storylines, and each episode's about 40 minutes, so it's a bit longer, but you should go watch it. It's great. So that's all the TV shows, and now I want to talk about movies. So during this period I've been watching lots of movies. Go check out my letterbox to see what movies I have been watching. During a time of high anxiety and paranoia and hysteria, I feel like people need to watch more feel-good movies, and so these are some of my favorite feel-good movies. So the first one is This movie stars McKenna Grace and Chris Evans, and it follows this little girl, McKenna Grace, who's this math genius, and it's very wholesome. And I've watched this probably like twice or thrice now, and it makes me cry every time, but they're happy tears. You don't want to cry sad tears or be confused after a movie. So, and obviously Chris Evans is in it. Why wouldn't you want to watch it? There's Chris Evans. Next movie is, it's a cute little coming of age / romance movie, and it follows Julie Baker and Bryce Kolsky as they try and figure out their feelings for each other, but it's a lot more than that. I'm obviously trying to summarize these movies without spoiling it. This movie makes you feel tense, makes you feel happy, makes you feel sad, and at the end you'll be crying happy tears. Next movie you should watch is, so Edge of 17 is a teenage coming of age movie. If you can't tell, I really like coming of age movies, and this stars Haley Steinfeld, and it's just her figuring out the world. You feel for these characters. The way that these characters are portrayed makes the audience feel very sympathetic towards them. It's one of the better, like, more realistic coming of age high school movies, because you know, a lot of high school movies, they tend to romanticize the idea of high school and being a teenager, whereas this movie kind of seems a bit more grounded and seems like you know someone, or you have gone through some of the similar situations. Even if you haven't, you can relate to the main character. So the next movie I'm gonna recommend is Booksmart, which is a teenage comedy coming of age movie. It's directed by the love of my life, Olivia Wilde, and it stars Beanie Featherstein and Caitlin Dever. So the movie follows Amy and Molly, who are these two high school girls who make education their priority, and they don't do anything else but school, and they never really have fun. In the last week of school, they find out all their friends who they thought were dumb and just partied actually went to good colleges and had a balance between school and fun. So then they realize that they've wasted their high school life and wanted to end their high school life with a bang. What I love about this movie, the characters themselves are so good, the writing's good, the direction's great. It's compared to Superbad a lot, but I like it better than Superbad. So if you liked that kind of comedy, a bit more for this decade, then you would really enjoy Booksmart. So the last movie I will recommend is, so Juno is a movie about a pregnant teenage girl. However, it's not like a cautionary tale in a sense. It's more just a coming of age movie and seeing how she deals with, you know, being pregnant and feelings and romance and love and high school. And it's just an all-around great movie. It has an amazing soundtrack. Juno's the classic sassy protagonist who has all those comebacks, and if you like those kind of characters, you should totally watch Juno. And so that is the end of this recommendation video. I haven't really done anything like this before, so if you want more, I can do more. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that jazz. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Roll the credits.